The one on 60 Minutes is because they didn't like the editing that had been done to the Kamala Harris.
From Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, this is wildly ridiculous.
Well, one of the things to keep in mind here is that Donald Trump feels like he won. I mean, this weekend, by having a settlement with ABC, one that many people did not think was going to come to fruition. They thought that this would end up in court, or that it would certainly not be a settlement in which ABC paid $16 million and issued a public apology, which was part of this, has been a situation which has empowered and emboldened Donald Trump.
That's CNN host and establishment media hack Jake Tapper fuming at the $15 million settlement in Trump's lawsuit against George Stephanopoulos and ABC News. Welcome to Nurk News, I'm Nurkish, and it looks like the pretend journalists are getting awfully nervous now that it appears that they might be held accountable for their actions. If you recall, George Stephanopoulos recently got himself and his network in hot water for repeatedly lying about Trump in an attempt to smear Nancy Mace.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a
civil court.
It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about
the man. But as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive.
Now, I only show you that clip to highlight what a disgusting sleazeball Stephanopoulos is. Because this wasn't him fibbing about Trump wearing a wig or bronzing his skin or something asinine or silly like that. It was him willfully repeating a heinous lie 10 separate times in an attempt to shame her. But of course, none of that seems to matter to self-centered journalists who have their undies in a bunch because they might be held accountable for lying on air now.
We should note, Kristen, I don't want to overstate Trump's friendliness and genial attitude at this press conference, because this weekend ABC News agreed to pay $16 million, including legal fees, to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Trump against the network and their anchor, George Stephanopoulos. And that obviously will not be the end of this campaign against the media, legal campaign against the media. We heard him go after many other news outlets today. Take a listen.
We're filing one on 60 Minutes. We're involved in one which has been going on for a while and very successfully against Bob Woodward. We have one very interestingly on Pulitzer, because reporters at the New York Times, Washington Post got Pulitzer Prizes for their wonderful, accurate, and highly professional reporting on the Russia hoax.
We don't have time to go into all of that, but just to touch base on a couple. There's one of them is the people of Iowa, the Des Moines Register. That's because there was a poll that was inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. I always thought the lawsuit was just designed for him to say he had a lawsuit.
Of
right?
course.
It wasn't right that it's sort of, why do you file the lawsuit against the media
when
company?
I was at CNN, he filed a lawsuit against CNN. He's filed lots and lots and lots of these lawsuits.
And they always get thrown out. And this one would have too.
I would just say, I mean, this feels like it has a real chilling effect. Like, I mean, shout out to the standards department. Okay, standards is always making sure that we are keeping the bar high and substantive and accurate. But George Stephanopoulos said in that interview, I mean, it seems to hold up with what the judge said after the fact. And now his news organization and himself, George Stephanopoulos himself, is paying $1 million of his own money to the lawyers, and ABC at $15 million. It's insane.
You know, these politically biased hacks are once again straw-manning their opposition and pretending that this will be used unfairly to target them, as if they've never been caught lying or ruining lives in the name of chasing a story or framing a narrative for Democrats. I mean, let's not forget that Tapper is actively being sued by a Navy veteran who he smeared with false claims, or who could forget the Covington kid who apparently committed the crime of smiling and sued them after they tried to make it seem like he was part of an unruly hate mob when he was actually the victim. So if you ask me, I say it's a good thing these networks are shaking in their boots and thinking twice before spewing lies for ratings. I mean, it looks like one show on ABC has already started feeling the effects of this lawsuit.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
I have a legal note.
You want to take this one, Joy, or are you
Matt
good?
Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That's true.
Also, another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit.
Oh.
He has denied any wrongdoing.
I have a very quick statement.
It's not going to be that quick.
Pete Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. No charges were ever brought.
I have a legal note. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
Yep.
Gaetz previously dismissed allegations that he paid for sex, saying that, quote, someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. Another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
Just call the show Legal Note from now on.
It's awfully funny how all of these networks go on and on about the dangers of fake news and conspiracy theories pushed by Twitter and alt media, but can't stand the thought of being forced to exercise some journalistic integrity or objectivity. Because there are dozens of ways journalists can misrepresent the truth and lie. Just look at how many hoaxes about Trump were pushed because of deceptive editing or omitting context from journalists, all so they can serve their Democrat masters and chase 24-hour news cycles. But let me know what you think. Will these litigations foster more honesty or less from the news media? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!